Hello and welcome to the Local Music Revolution. I am your host, Ogre. Today we have End Ovanera. End Ovanera is a fledgling band out of Fresno, California. Funny enough, they're still in high school. They're trying to make their way into the scene, which is pretty cool. I was there at one point, and it wasn't as hard as I thought it would be, but it was still very, very difficult for people to take you seriously. And it's very nice to see that there's still kids trying to make decent music at such an early age. These guys, they want the band to be their vision, and they also want to go to MI. If anybody knows me, they know at one point that was one of the biggest dreams that I had in my life, was to go to MI and become a drummer of some kind of caliber. Life doesn't always work out as you plan, though, so that wasn't for me. But hey, I kind of enjoy the way my life turned out, and I really enjoy the fact that I've been able to meet so many great people and forge my own way, as opposed to having it in that kind of platform. I kind of feel a little bit more like I've scraped and clawed, and every time I get something, every time I make an accomplishment, I personally feel better about myself for that. But each to his own. If these guys get into MI, which I am rooting for them so much, because it's so great to see that they have that want and that drive. Hopefully everything works out for them. And hopefully, in a few years, we'll see them playing out shows and selling out, the whiskey and all of that. So, before we get to the show, I want to thank you for listening. It has been a great adventure with you guys. Thank you so much. The support just keeps growing and growing and growing, and that is awesome. These bands need to be heard, and it's so great to see that it's being able to be done. I could not do it without the bands. I have said this once. I will say this a million more times. This podcast is not anything without the bands that are interested in getting interviewed and being part of this process. And it's nothing without their fans that want to hear these interviews. So it's everybody coming together and enjoying these bands. And that's what's great about it. You can connect with me and the podcast on Facebook at facebook.com/thelocalmusicrevolution, or on Twitter at TLMR podcast. The Local Music Revolution is also on Tumblr. I know nobody uses it. Everybody really hates it except the users of Tumblr. It's weird, but I have it on there. It's auto update. It's got every episode. So if you are a Tumblr user, get on there and follow that. I'll probably post some exclusive content to get that following up too. It's really all how things work out right now. This whole operation is run through WordPress. So if you go to thelocalmusicrevolution.wordpress.com, everything you need to know about the podcast is there. This podcast is also on iTunes and Stitcher. All you have to do is look them up in the search engines, and you will find the podcast on those services. We are also on a host of different RSS feeders and catchers. All you have to do is look up the podcast, and you will find what you are looking for. Local, amazing artists, unsigned artists, and people that love these bands and musicians. So thank you very much. I will not hold you up anymore. This is End Ovanera. We're here with End Ovanera. We're currently speaking to Hunter. Adrian will join us here in a second. How you doing, man?
I'm pretty good. How are you?
I'm doing great, man. Thank you very much for asking. So I would like to know the history of your band. So can you get into that real fast?
Yeah, well, it initially started out with me and Adrian. We met in middle school. Pretty much, we wanted to just start a band together. We were both into the same kind of music. We started out mainly our influences were Avenged Sevenfold, The Devil Wears Prada, Parkway Drive, bands like that.
Okay.
And then we I met, or, well, we met our bassist in high school. So I'm not. Get back over here. But yeah, we met our bassist in high school, and from there we just kind of all just joined together, and we decided, we want to form a band, and we all listen to the same music pretty much. I mean, Jeremy has his different influences, like he's more like into rap and stuff like that, but he still loves the rock that we love and everything.
All right, man. Well, so you were telling me before we started that your bassist is out of town. So how are you dealing with that and writing your music?
Pretty much just messaging him and stuff like that. Just whatever ways we can get a hold of him, we just send him lyrics, and or we'll send him like audio files of what we have, just depending on what we want to do.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I love the fact that technology has advanced to where you guys can. So have you guys actually played shows before he left? You said that you hadn't found a solid drummer. Were you able to and actually play out shows?
Our drummer is not. He's not solid. Well, that's what I told him. We were searching for a solid drummer.
Yeah.
Just haven't quite found one yet.
So yeah, we haven't really been able to play shows because of that.
Yeah.
We're too hardcore for all the drummers, so nobody wants to play with us.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Especially,
When I was coming up through everything, it was extremely hard to find a decent drummer. I don't know how that is because I stopped caring, really.
In Fresno.
Oh, you guys are from Fresno?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This place fucking sucks ass.
there's like no drummers here.
Yeah, that's
Everyone's in local bands.
Yeah.
yeah, that's one of the hardest things is actually finding a decent drummer. I'm pretty sure you can find a guy that sits behind a drum set and tries to make a beat, but finding a decent one is really difficult. It took me 10 years to get where I'm at on the drums, man.
Oh damn, that's a real.
Yeah, it's brutal sometimes, and it's really hard to find people that are of a decent caliber.
Yeah, and we're hoping we find a drummer before we head down to LA to go to Musicians Institute. But if we can't find one here, then we're just gonna have to look for one there.
I know.
That's probably a better place to look for one, anyways. Music school.
Yeah, man. Musicians Institute has a bunch of decent musicians. I know a bunch of bands that I've listened to, like Korn. They got their guitarist that replaced Head, and their drummer was actually a teacher at MI. And a band called OTEP. They were comprised almost entirely of Musicians Institute alumni. So it's a great place to find people.
It really is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're paying for the connections and being in one of the best places to be a musician. So yeah, I would hope that there's something for you guys out there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, us too.
All right, so let's talk influences. You said Avenged and a couple other bands that I'm not very familiar with. I haven't listened to, but how do you guys bring all those together when you're writing?
Well, some of our influence, like I said, were Avenged Sevenfold, like Parkway Drive. Some of our newer influences would be like The Faceless, Rings of Saturn, Between the Buried and Me, more progressive metal, little bit of technical thrown in there with like still a good melodic rock style, you know.
Yeah, I got you, man.
So we try to like how do we really incorporate into that?
We make it like build up, just like build up from like this like hard like Choruses, we have a lot of catchy choruses about it. And, like, there's fast pace, and then, like, we sometimes just, like, switch it up to nice, slow tempo, like, all melodic and just relaxing, and
Sounds really
fucking
sweet.
and just get into it hella hardcore. Some real headbanging shit.
Yeah, man, that actually sounds pretty interesting. With my influences, what I did was my biggest influence was Vinnie Paul from Pantera, and yeah, he was one of the grooviest guys that I've ever seen play the drums. And I took the groove, like the concept of how he played the groove, and applied it to my drums. And yeah, there was just bits and pieces here and there of other bands. Like I learned how to flip my sticks from Dave Shivari from El Nino and a bunch of other guys like that. So it's it's really cool to have such an eclectic kind of influence to choose from for your songs.
Yeah.
So when you're writing, what comes first? Do you guys actually? You're both guitarists, you said. So do you write your riffs first, or do you write your lyrics and try to get that emotion out first?
Most of the time, it's usually our lyrics we come up with. We just, like, sitting down, not doing anything. All of a sudden, catchy chorus or, like, a nice, like, just verse or something comes up. We just write it down. Then later, we just play it in our head and just jam out to it on guitar how we would think we'd like to hear it.
Oh, nice, man. I'm currently writing an album right now, and the first thing I did was just started writing lyrics. I mean, they just started flowing out of me. So after that,
Yeah.
I put the guitars to it and demoed that, and then I started putting the drums and doing the final tracking for all the guitars and bass. But I completely did it backwards from what I was doing. The lyrics it really helped because it you have that emotion that you want to convey through the music.
Yeah, it helps you find better ground for what sound, the kind of song you want.
Yeah, man, and it's really fun. I do all this by myself.
Oh, wow. That's what's up.
Yeah, I play the drums, I play the guitar, the bass, write the lyrics. Currently, I'm trying to demo vocals. I suck as a vocalist, but but I'm trying to do it because I have the melodies in my head, and I want whoever I'm working with to actually know what I want. And
Yeah.
but yeah, I really enjoy shaking it up. Every time I've written an album, it's been completely different from the previous time. So I'm starting to find all these little niches and things that I really enjoy, and I'm starting to try to find my own style. It's really fun, man.
Nice. Finding your own style is probably one of the biggest things for us.
Yeah.
We really,
Incorporating the sounds that we are influenced by, but making it our own, you know?
exactly, yeah.
Like, we'll have, like, a heavy breakdown, and then just we'll go silent with just, like, a couple lyrics or something, and then just, like, you know, just knock that in there.
Yeah,
like a
man.
Parkway or something.
Yeah, it's actually it's a tight wire act if you can understand what I'm trying to say. It's really hard trying to have those influences and write music in that kind of sense, but also make it your own. There's a time where you can jump rope the line, but sometimes it's really hard to actually make it your own.
Yeah, usually when I write, like, songs like that, I usually just look at it, like, days at a time. I just, like, read it over and over and over because I don't want my guitar to sound like anybody else's, you know? Well, too much to where it's like, oh, that sounds like fucking Avenged Sevenfold. Fuck, they ain't nothing special, you know?
Yeah, I've had that. One of the songs I was writing previous, I had this drum beat in my head, and this guitar riff just popped into my head, and I was listening to it, and it was actually it was very very close to a guitarist that I know, his riff that I was working with, and yeah, I thought it was my own for like 2 weeks, and then I heard that song, and I was like, damn it, man, damn it.
Yeah, I know the feel.
What happens?
Yeah, it was terrible, man. I was so angry because it was a good riff, and it was groovy as hell, but it was somebody else's. So when you guys are writing, how do you guys practice the stuff that you've written? Do you guys practice individually, like doing scales and like the boring part of playing music, or do you guys jam out together and try to figure everything out?
We usually jam out together. Like, if I have something, I'll be like, hey, nigga, play this. And be like, all right. And then go play that. And I'll play whatever lead I have to it. And the thing that I love about playing with this guy is that we're so on sync. Like, he can just go with something, and we can just go for, like, fucking ever.
Well,
And that's, like, you know,
yeah,
the
man.
best part of things there.
That's extremely rare to have. I've only had that like a handful of times in the 10 years I've been playing around here. Um,
Mhm.
it's extremely rare to find somebody that you can lock in with, and they know what's in your head before you do. And yeah, you guys got to keep that if you're gonna be playing music. That's one of the keys that you need to keep with you.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's really nice to have.
Right.
All right, man. So, tell me about your equipment. What are you guys using right now to play?
Just some basic equalizers and fucking compressors, and we use Studio One. We're losers.
Yeah,
So,
Studio One's what I'm recording right now on.
yeah, just for right now, because, well, it's just kind of pricey these days, and we some broke niggas, so,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, yeah, like I said, I'm recording right now on Studio One. I love that program. I've recorded every
It's
album that
reliable.
I've put
There's a lot
out.
of shit you can fucking pull out of your ass on there, like,
Yeah,
I was surprised a lot of times.
yeah, it's incredible. And I was actually I wrote some rap beats about 6 months ago, just screwing around trying to see what I can do, and it was very nice. It was very easy to do. So I love this program with every ounce of me.
Yeah.
That's
Real.
what's up.
It's always fun to fuck around.
So your guitars, what are you using guitar wise and amp wise?
Right now I'm just using my original Fender Strat that I got back when I was like 15. No, it's probably younger than that. I was probably like 13 maybe, and I've pretty much been playing that since then. I mean, I've gotten an acoustic since then, but I haven't really upgraded on any of the guitars, other than the guitars that Adrian's gotten. And then my amp, I just play on my simple little Fender amp, and it works pretty well.
Nice, nice.
Mm-hmm.
So
We're trying to get 7 and 8 strings too. We're working to get that.
oh
Yeah.
really?
Yeah, I want to get 7 and want to get an 8.
Oh, that's nice. Well, what equipment are you using, man?
I am using an Ibanez right now, but I'm working to get more into the Schecter mode, you know?
Yeah, I've talked to multiple people and they're really into Schecter. I actually didn't know about Schecter until a few years back, but like I said, I was a drummer, so I really didn't know jack.
Yeah. Those guitars are fucking badass.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for me, I use Dean. Like my guitar rack right now is just full of Dean.
Oh, yeah?
Nice.
Yes,
Those guitars
sir.
are really good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
my first guitar was a Strat shape Dean. It's called a Custom 250. One of the best guitars I've ever been able to play. That one right there, that's my favorite guitar that I play.
Yeah, it's your baby.
Yeah, very much. That's I call it my ice from Game of Thrones, the sword for the Starks. Yeah, but that's my ice. That's my baby. I love that guitar so damn much.
Yeah. Well, how we are with our guitars.
All right, man. So we're gonna take a break right now. When we come back, we'll finish up talking to you guys. All right.
All right, sure.
And we're back with End Ovanera. You guys still there?
Yep.
Yep.
All right, guys. So you previously said you guys are from Fresno. I'm from about 45 minutes to an hour away, depending where you're at. So tell me, how's the local scene out there? Are there any bands that you really dig? Any of them that you see going places?
We've gone to a couple shows. Mainly the main place that we really go see local shows, or any show pretty much that's comes to Fresno is at Strummers.
Yeah.
It's a pretty popular place that bands go to. But like one band that I actually know the lead singer personally is Devil Can Assailant, and they're pretty well known in Fresno per se for the local band scene. But we don't. I mean, we support our local bands, but we don't really have the money to go out and see the shows and buy tickets and stuff.
Yeah, man, I understand. I actually saw Machine Head last summer at Strummers, and before it was Strummers, it was called the Starline, and I believe it was 2007. I was able to play there, which was pretty cool. And
nice.
yeah, it was a pretty decent show. There was a decent turnout. It was the only problem was my damn china fell off the stage and made a big ass ruckus. Yeah, it's whatever happens in live shows, man. But yeah, I love that place, man. It's small, it's intimate. I mean, like, me and my wife were right there in front row, in front of the singer of Machine Head, Rob Flynn, just sitting there, just rocking out, and it was great. I love that place.
Let's kick out. Yeah. The local scenery around here is pretty booming. Surprisingly, being in Fresno.
There's a lot of tweakers too.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, man.
I heard like 5 gunshots where you.
Oh wow, that's terrible, man. But yeah, I when I was coming up, my last show in Fresno was, I believe, 2010. And we would play. We played the Crossroads a few times. We played the Babylon multiple times. Yeah, it was. Fresno was really good to us as a band, but Fresno hates me as an individual.
Yeah, Fresno fans are kind of assholes. I mean,
they're douchebags.
Like
tough crowd.
Yeah, they're really tough crowd to please.
Yeah, very much so.
Yeah, one band that we went to, we went to go see this one band, and like one of the openers. Yeah, they were like from Italy. No, they were from France. Yeah, they were from France, and like this one hella drunk ass dude was being a dickwad, and like he was all drunk and shit. He was like, "Bro, you guys fucking suck. Go back to fucking wherever it is." Blah blah blah.
Oh wow, man.
Like, what, you want to say something again? I'll fuck you up. I'm fucking like, yeah, fuck you.
It was hilarious.
Yeah, the crowd was like, "Boo."
Nobody seemed to really like them.
Did they put on a good show at least?
I think they did, but just
their music just wasn't the taste of the night, you know. It just did. I feel like it didn't quite fit in with everybody else that played there.
The other people was like Black Dahlia, fucking.
Didn't we see Trash Talk that day?
Trash Talk. What's that other band?
There was another band, but Terror. That was
Tendencies. Yeah.
Oh, no, nice. We didn't talk that time. Yeah, it was Terror, Suicidal Tendencies, and I think Black Dahlia Murderer.
Wait, Suicidal Tendencies?
Yeah. They were at Fresno.
They were at Strummers.
Oh, that's shit. I love Suicidal Tendencies.
Too. Like, the singer started lighting up the joint and passing it around the crowd, and everyone else who had bud just started fucking blazing. It was awesome.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. The lead singer of Trash Talk was really interactive with the crowd, which we want to do as a band ourselves. We really want to be able to interact with our fans and please them. Well, yeah, most bands don't do that, though.
Yeah, I think bands that like just go up there, play the music, and get off are like kind of gay.
It's boring. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, if the music's good, but like,
but
like people, you know, they're not.
Why? Your job's to entertain the crowd, you know. I'm like, I've been going there thinking, yeah, this shit's gonna be fucking awesome. You know, let's do this.
Yeah.
And have them leaving thinking, oh my god, that shit was fucking amazing. That needs to happen as soon as possible again.
Yeah. And I'm willing to pay any amount to go see that and do that again.
Yeah, the thing I've seen is local bands, they only get like 20, 25-minute slots. It takes a lot of luck in that kind of time frame to turn a crowd into fans. It's very rare that local bands are able to actually turn people in that 25 minutes. I've seen it happen, but it's very rare, and it's sad because these guys they bust their ass and they don't get anything. And
Yeah. That's hard.
like one of the things that we started doing when I was playing out shows is we'd invite the other bands on stage, and there's actually pictures, and it's just that was some of the funnest times that I ever had as a musician, was inviting everybody up, and it was a big ass party on stage for our last song.
That's been pretty fun.
That's awesome. See, as a fan, I would love to do something like that, or even as a band member, I would love to have people come up on stage.
Yeah, man, it was crowded, it was sweaty, but you know, at the end of the night, everybody was like, "That was so much fun," and I was like, "Yeah, man, that's why we did it. It was, you know, so we could have fun. That's what we do as musicians. We have fun. Everybody else has fun."
Actually. That's the thing I love about it too, though. You're not working at all. You're just fucking being badass,
Having fun and entertaining people.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, it's nice. And then there's the funny part is there's a couple times that you'll have, if a song hits somebody, you'll see somebody crying.
Yeah.
I walked out of one of the shows and there was this girl crying on the side of the building, and I was like, "What's going on?" She's like, "That last song you guys played, it touched me," and I'm like, "All right, but we're not the Beatles. Why are you crying?"
That's funny.
It was, you know, it's awesome that music has that capacity to do all of that. So I really enjoy it, man.
Yeah, definitely. It's
Good feeling.
yeah, I'd agree with that.
On a fucking drummer.
A struggle.
So continue. 7:15.
So what is it that got you guys started in music? Was there a specific scenario or something like that that got you into wanting to play guitar?
Oh, when we met, we kind of just like, I don't know, just like clicked, and it was just like boom, we were instantly best friends. We started hanging out and everything, and like both found out we both played guitar, and from that moment on, we were just like, dude, we need to make a band together. This needs to happen. Like, we're gonna make a band, and we're gonna go big and everything like that. And I was just kind of just sparked the whole thing, and we've just continued on ever since. And
Me and Hunter have been like the only two like solid members like throughout the beginning.
mm-hmm.
It kind of sucks because going through a hell of a people, it's just fucking mean. But
We've gone through like 10 people.
yeah.
Yeah, man. Lineup changes are a drag. I hate lineup changes. If I have to do a lineup change, I am all against it all the time. It's ridiculous.
Especially with like record labels, because they can like terminate the contract if you like one of your band members quit. That's not who they agreed to, sign on a contract and play for them.
Yeah, and some of them actually put in a clause that they can decide who comes into the band, which that's also very, very tragic. That can tear bands apart very quick.
Oh yeah. See, I wouldn't approve of that.
Yeah.
Well, man, like right now is a very good time to be a independent musician. I mean, technology is in our favor. Like you said, Studio One makes great products.
Well, for the most part, what gets me, what grinds my gears, is fucking illegal music sites. It gets me. And
Download the music for free.
See, that's a thing is as an independent artist, I believe you should embrace that. I understand that it costs a lot of money to print CDs and everything, but the free downloading of the music will get your music out to fans that may not have heard it before.
That is true.
But for career musicians, the problem is that the sales, and that's tragic because no sales means the label's not getting money, and that means that those bands may not be around as long as they could have been.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But also another point to that that I've seen is back in the day, people used to do tape trade. There used to be like career tape traders They would go and get demos and live versions and bootlegs and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And they would trade that with people. So there were people in the punk scene and the metal scene and the underground scene that had albums 2-3 years before they ever hit the streets.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so it's been going on for a long, long time. I mean, you can even, if you have the right stuff, you can copy vinyl and produce your own vinyls.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that could still work.
Yeah, it's the nature of the beast, and most bands don't ever even see record sales. They get their money from merch sales and other avenues, and it's a tragic part of that. I recently been doing some research, and it's just the record. It's essentially a loan. It's a bank. The label's a bank, and they will try to screw in any way possible.
Yeah. Record labels, man.
Alright. I'll fuck around.
Yeah, man, like I was saying, it's perfect time to be a independent artist. You do your own stuff, you put your own time into it, but you also get all of the money. You're in a band, so you have to share with the members, but there's no managers, there's no middlemen that you have to pay. It's a great time to be that kind of artist.
Yeah, that makes sense. I can see how that would work.
It would make it easier, too.
Yeah, you don't have to deal with everyone else's bullshit and
Tell
Yeah,
tell you what to do and this and that and
what freedom.
Yeah, you guys get paid last when you're on a label, so everybody else gets their chunk, and then you get like the last 5-10 cents, and then you're like, oh yeah, how am I gonna eat tonight?
Yep.
All right, man. So we're gonna take a break, and then we'll come back and continue this conversation. All right?
Okay, for sure.
Doing all right, man. All right, so you guys were talking about going to MI and everything. How's the plan that you guys are coming up with to get there?
Pretty good. I mean, nothing can really stop us from doing that. I mean, what we're going to do, but
aside from them saying no to us. Right?
Well, I mean, like, generally, we have all the shit we need to be able to pursue it.
Have you guys actually ordered the application and taken a look at it?
No, I haven't.
Well, I looked at online. They have a website and like they have a link where you can click to it and it shows you the applications and shit.
Really? Check that out.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to know for drums. You have to know. I believe it was 5 rudiments, which are they're awesome to play when you get them down, but it's extremely boring to learn. It's like scales for the guitar. It's just repetition until you get it right. And you had to videotape yourself playing these things, and you had to do an interview, and there were questions, and it was a long, tedious process to try to get that.
When it's finally done, it'll be worth it.
Yeah, man. It's funny. I was about 13, I believe. And I got a Revolver magazine, and I saw a gentleman by the name of Ray Lazier. And I don't know why, but he was in the ad for MI, and I was like, I want to go there. I want to do that. So my entire high school career was me learning all these things and trying to become a better drummer. I actually never went because of things. I had to stay for family and things like that. But the funniest part about that is Ray Lazier actually became the drummer for Korn. And it was like 10 years later he became the drummer for one of my favorite bands. So it's pretty awesome, man.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Pretty inspiring, too, I think. Yeah, I want to fucking go there here now. You know.
Yeah, man. I mean, there's housing right off the strip. I mean, you go to school legitimately on Sunset Strip, and
it's all about us.
Yeah, and I mean, it's a walk to the Whiskey. Like a 5-minute walk to the Whiskey, to the Roxy, to the House of Blues, the Viper Room. It's I would go if I still had the chance and I had the money and everything. I would still go and I'd still bust my ass to get there.
Yeah. She's gonna get real when we go there.
Oh yeah.
She's about to get real.
I'm pretty excited to go there though. I really can't wait.
Yeah.
I just want to get it. I just want to start going there already.
Mm-hmm.
So are the both of you, are you going to the GIT, the Guitar Institute of Technology, or are you thinking about doing the whole music business or possibly the guitar craft?
Well, you know what? They have a summer shop program thingy or something like that, where you go for like a couple weeks and they teach you how to build a guitar, and they just like fast pace through like a course.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like a little sneak peek if you were to enroll all the way.
That's pretty cool, man. I know they gave tours and everything. Back in the day, I don't know what they do now. I kind of stopped, obsessing about those pamphlets and everything. But yeah, man. By all means, I really hope that you guys get in there. I mean, they need musicians more than ever right now.
Yeah, I hope we get in. That'd be really nice. You said they're needing musicians right now? Are they low on students?
No, they just need decent musicians. I believe the world needs decent musicians. At any rate, you can play guitar, piano, vocals, drums, whatever. As long as you're a decent musician, I mean, there's something in there. Being a musician that's different from everything else, and the world needs that creativity and that art and that passion.
Yeah.
Build more knowledge on that too.
I want to focus, if I do go there, I really want to see if I can focus mainly on just guitar and piano.
Yeah.
Those are, I don't know, those are the two main instruments that I mainly enjoy playing the most. And I just recently picked up piano, actually, this past year.
Oh, nice.
And I've only been playing for like 5-6 months, and I feel like I've advanced pretty far as
You can play
piano goes.
Final Fantasy.
No, not Final Fantasy.
Or no, not
Legend of Zelda.
Legend of Zelda. Well, there's that other one that real quick too. Anyway.
Oh, yeah. The Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah,
Oh, nice.
Dearly beloved. Yeah. It's a
Yeah,
really
man.
good game.
Like I said, I'm writing an album right now. One of the songs is kind of slower, kind of more depressing, and there was this it's the legato part that I was playing, and I was like, what would sound great is a piano matching this. So I spent like 3 days learning like the keys to the piano, and like the technique to do that. And it came out, and I was like, that's pretty freaking cool. Like, it makes this song sound so much better now.
It's awesome. I like experimenting with keys. It's a very interesting instrument.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man. Piano's way too elegant for me. Yeah, there's a certain type of person that can play piano, and I'm not that person. I act like I know something that I'm doing with the guitar, but I really don't know that much.
Yeah.
But for me, you ask me drums, and I can tell you anything that you need to know about drums. But everything else is just done. There's no nothing like that.
Yeah. Makes sense. Focus. Oh, can you just focus? Sorry.
Yeah. Got a bunch of doggies here. Go.
You guys still there?
Yeah,
Oh.
like one of the things that we recall that I kind of like the most, like that the band has done is like one of the songs by Avenged Sevenfold. I Won't See You Tonight, Part 1. I like the piano that a lot. So melodic and like slow, and just like fucking sexy, ridiculous.
Yeah, I like how Avenged introduced the piano into a few of their songs. I was a fan back in the Waking the Fallen days, and
Yeah,
that album is really, really, really good.
that's what made them like. That's what initiated what their sound would be like mostly.
See, the funny thing is, I remember hearing Backcountry for the first time, and it was on KRZ, which was out of Fresno, and it was
That
at
radio show.
it was at 3 a.m. because Avenged Sevenfold's Backcountry was too heavy for mainstream radio at the time.
Funny. Yeah, they blurred out words and shit.
Yeah, it was hilarious to me because I'm like, this is a lot less heavy than like Chapter 4 or a couple of those other songs.
Yeah.
But I didn't start listening to them again until they're self-titled with Almost Easy.
Yeah.
I like how they use a lot of like percussion and like strings and like all that shit in there. Badass.
Yeah, it was a really grand production, and I truly enjoyed that. Plus, there's I think it was Almost Easy with the octopus, the octopus fill, the double ride that the Rev did.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I learned that from a different drummer. Yeah, it was the way he implemented it was just incredible. But I actually learned that kind of beat from Scott Rockenfeld from a band called Queensryche. They were back in the 80s. And to see it come back, it was really, really nice.
Yeah. I love the Rev's influence or style per se when he drums. He's a really, really fast-paced, like all over the drum set type of guy. And
we had a drummer like that.
Yeah, our first drummer,
yeah. He was fucking badass, man. We told him, like, all right, let's see what you got. And he just fucking...
crazy shit.
I hit myself, man. I was like, God damn. Yep.
So what did you guys think of Nightmare and Mike Portnoy recording those drums?
I thought that was pretty cool because they didn't just pick up a random drummer. They actually took the Rev's influence and who he really, really looked up to as another drummer per se.
Yeah.
And I like that he actually subbed into the band, for a while and actually went on tour with them and played with them and recorded the rest of the album with them and everything. So I thought that was really, really interesting.
It's not just good of a person he is, too.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
And we actually had gone to go see them after the Rev had died, and we went to go see them at Mayhem Fest with Bullet, For My Valentine, 3 Days Grace, Seether, Escape the Fate, and
okay.
A couple other bands. But
Seven Dust was throwing condoms out in the
And Avenged Sevenfold didn't show because M Shadows was sick. And so they did a makeup show with Hollywood Undead, Asking Alexandria, and Black Veil Brides, which I don't really care for either of those three bands. But but when we were at that show, apparently their parents were at that show, and that was like I guess that was like the one show that they went to. So it was a pretty touching moment in the crowd, and like they played.
They played a lot of soft songs like this. I played Victim.
What was the song that they played for the Rev?
So Far Away.
So Far Away, that was it.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
That was like a really, really like somber moment in the crowd, and everybody was kind of just like connected, and
everyone was all drunk and crying.
Yeah. It was great.
Flyers everywhere, just burning each other.
But it's a good time, honestly. Avenged Sevenfold puts on a very great show.
Yeah, man. I saw them in 2010, right after Nightmare came out. They did the Uproar tour. It was the first year, and what was great is I got to see three of my favorite drummers in one day, which were Vinnie Paul, Mike Wingren from Disturbed, and Mike Portnoy playing for Avenged. And it was really awesome. The thing that got me, like, they played all of their really good songs, and they were on it. But the beginning of the show, there was a guy in the rafters, and I was like, what is this guy doing? And at the start of the show, he jumped off of the rafters, and he hung there for the entire first song, and there was like a noose around his neck. It was crazy.
Whoa, that's nuts.
Yeah, it was very weird, and like I was like, is this really happening? Like these guys are pretty awesome.
Right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, they had a wall.
Sounds like something Death Clock would do.
Yeah.
Some people just jump and hang themselves.
Fucking blood pouring from the sky and shit.
Yeah.
Eyeballs.
But yeah, dude, that show was one of my favorite shows that I've seen. It was really nice, and like Disturbed and Avenged in the same night it was fantastic for me.
Dude,
I love Disturbed. That would have been a great show. I wish I was at that show, man.
There was also Stone Sour at that show too, which was really, really cool. Corey Taylor running around being Corey Taylor.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was. My wife went nuts for that one. All right, guys. To wrap this up, how can people get a hold of you?
They can go on Facebook and like us through our Facebook page. They can just search us End END space OVANERA. Just as you would spell the name. And just like our Facebook page, you can message us on there. Pretty sure we have our actual Facebook accounts linked to this, so you can get a hold of us, Hunter Moore and Adrian Bong. And yeah, that's pretty much our only way of contact, really, is through Facebook. I mean, other than giving out our phone numbers, but I'm not a big fan of that.
Yeah, neither am I, man. I completely understand. All right, man. Yeah. Well, thank you very much. It's been a very, very fun time. I enjoyed talking to you guys.
Thank you for having us on the show.
Well, thank you very much for responding. I really hope everything works out for you. Please keep in contact with me. Let me know how the band's doing, and if any major developments come about, let me know, and I'll make sure that it's on the show. All right?
Okay, for sure. Thank you, bro.
All right.
Appreciate it. Yeah.
All right, gentlemen. Have a good day. All right.
You too.
All right, later. So that was End Ovanera. Really cool guys. Really, really insightful on their music scene. Really driven. I'm really hoping and seeing them soon. I've been trying to keep up with them and everything like that. I've been trying to keep up with everybody on this podcast, but there's a lot of you guys now, so I'm sorry if I'm not doing very well with the whole keeping up. But it has launched, and after launch week, I realized it was a really good idea. I'm patting myself on the back every single day for that. But that's just me. Everybody's been really receptive to this idea. Most of the bands that I've dealt with have been really, really cool. And, you know, it's very nice to see that all my hard work has paid off for somebody. And I really hope that I can help many more musicians and artists in the future. So please keep looking out, keep downloading those episodes, and please, I would love to hear your comments. You can always contact me on Facebook.com/thelocalmusicrevolution and on Twitter at TLMR Podcast. The podcast can also be followed on WordPress, thelocalmusicrevolution.wordpress.com. That is where everything is run through. There's new episodes. I'm trying to work on blog posts right now. And every social media outlet that I have is posted on there. And an interview, sign-up sheet for you local artists that want to be on the show. Everything like that is there. If you want to help this podcast out in any way, the easiest way is to follow it, to support, to subscribe, to comment, to interact, and let me know about the artists and the bands that are on here. Let me know what you think of them, and if you know of any, send them my way so that I can interview them and have them on this show. For iTunes, all you have to do is go onto your iTunes account, search in the podcast for The Local Music Revolution, and subscribe. If you go, you can add, you can comment, you can rate. All of that is there for you. If you're an Android user like me, you can download Stitcher. I am on Stitcher. The podcast is on Stitcher. All you have to do is sign up for Stitcher in the app and look up The Local Music Revolution, and that thing is always updated. All you have to do is refresh it, and the newest episodes show up on release day. Like I said before, commenting, interacting, letting me know what you think of the show and the artist featured on the show is the best way you can help this podcast out. Plus, by doing that, rating, commenting, adding, subscribing, all of that stuff helps with rankings on Stitcher and iTunes, and that ultimately helps the podcast get out and these artists to get out and better known. I'm always looking for new artists and bands and companies to feature on this show. So if you know of one or you are one of these very talented people, please contact at the podcast email thelocalmusicrevolution@gmail.com. We can start the process and get you on the show. There's also an interview sign-up sheet on the WordPress, as I mentioned before. All you have to do is answer those questions, get in contact with me, and I will email you back within a day or two because that's the way I work. Thank you again for listening, everybody. You've been awesome. Next Thursday, I will have the punk band Sexual Stevo and the Neighborhood Scum coming in and talking about how they recorded their EP. It is a very interesting way how they recorded it and how they wrote their songs. So tune in, listen to what they did. It's very, very inspiring, especially if you're a songwriter looking for a different way to approach your music. As always, this is the Local Music Revolution. I am Ogre. You are fantastic. Thank you very much for the support, everyone. Take care and be good.